a.m.
It's a long flight.
Ernie, Shalom Aleichem.
It was about 13 hours to San Francisco, and then a 45-minute flight from San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. It's good to have you home.
Good
Yes.
Good to be back. I was by Steve Aretsky
I didn't see you there when you were there now.
from 7 to till now.
I was there now, but what time did you leave?
I left right before Ma'ariv.
Oh, okay. I came for my. Okay.
What time is Mincha there? What do they say? What time Mincha is going to be tomorrow?
It was
7:35.
about 10 to 8. Oh,
7:35 officially.
Okay, thanks.
So we're on Lamed Bays. Ahmed Aleph. The Nizda kosher, when it's separated on the top, is the lulav kosher. Vatanya lulav kafuf, if it's bent over. Kavutz, it's like dried out. Saduk, which is this cracked, split. Akum, bent. Doim l'magal, that it looks like a scythe. Puzzle. Charus, it's hard like a wood puzzle. Doim l'charas kosher, if it's not quite hard yet, it's still okay. But the kasha is, it says saduk puzzle. Before we said saduk is okay. All right, Papa. The ovid kamnik, if it's like a fork, two separate parts, then it's puzzle. Then akum dom l'magal, if it's bent like a scythe, we said it's puzzle. That's if it's bent away from you. Aval achrav. If it's bent sort of backwards on itself, that's the way it grows. Briyasu. Arav nachman l'tzadim kilfon of dami. If it's bent to the side, it's puzzle. It's like bent to the front. V'amri lo kalachrav dami. Some people say it's like it's kosher. But Rava hai lulva the salik b'chadhutza. A lulav that the leaves are only growing on one side of it, it's a balmum upasul. Nifritzu olav, if the leaves are separated, Amrav Papa, nifritzu means the avid kichufya, like a broom. Nifridu, the ifrid afrude. Nifridu means they're completely separated from the shedra, from the spine, and it's stuck outside. Borav Papa, nechlikat tyoimis ma. What about if the top, the tyoimis, where it comes together, the top is split? Toshma, don't know if Yechon ben Levi. Nitla tyoimis pasul. If the tyoimis is removed, it's pasul. And my lavu adin the nechlika, that would be the same thing if it's split. Of course, it's low. Nitla shiny. If it's removed, that's different. Because a little of it's chaser. But by split tyoimis, it would be okay. The two and Beis Yosef say it's possible. That's why we look very carefully when we buy a lulav at the top. If the top is separated, it's a psul in the lulav. Rav Tarfon. Kapois tamarim. We darshan kapois. That has to be like one unit. Imaya parud. If it was separated, you have to tie it to make it one. Who says that it has to be from a palm? Ema charusa. Maybe it's from the branch of the palm that's very hard, not soft. In a kafus veleka. It has to be all the leaves that come into one unit, as opposed to like a palm branch where you see the leaves are like this. See that?
Yeah.
Now, that would be cool. That's an example of,
Looks like a porcupine.
yeah, like the needles coming out laterally. Ve'ema oifsa, maybe the root, which clearly is kafus, is clearly one unit. Kafus miklal de kaparut. Like kafus vamiloilam. The lulav has some leaves that separate from each other. This never separates. So that wouldn't fulfill kafus either. I've aim a kufra. Maybe it's the branch of the palm that's not hard yet. And so on Rabbi, but those are sharp. And when the Torah gave mitzvahs, it's got to be darchei noam. It's got to be pleasant. And this would not be pleasant. Maybe it's too sort of, you need two lulavim, like a double lulav. Kapois ksiv, which is singular. Maybe only one leaf is enough. So then it wouldn't be kapois, like kaf karilei. So it's got to be at least two leaves. Siniara barzel kshera. There's very few leaves. It's still kosher. One leaf has to come to the other's root. Another Bryce says it's kosher. That it depends whether the leaf comes up to the root or not. Some people learn the sugya as a kasha. Tnan, Sinei Barzal kosher. If it doesn't have a lot of leaves, it's kosher. If one leaf goes to the root of the bottom, it's kosher. Amrav Marian, Amrav Yeshua ben Levi, Bar Milotoni, Rav Bar Miriam, Mishum Rav Yechel ben Zakkai. Shtei Tmarois, Yesh Begei Beninam. There's two tamar trees, date trees, and in between them is oila osher mibenea, and there's smoke rising from the two of them. It's from those types of palm trees that we say tzine ara barzel. The zui piskol shel gehen. The reason why smoke is rising, that happens to be the opening of Gehenna, which is a hot place. Lulav sheyesh bo shlusha tfachim, we said is kosher. Amar Rav Amar Shmuel, shir hadas v'arava shloisha. The hadas v'arava have to be a minimum 3 tfachim. The lulav arba, the lulav has to be taller than the others. K'dei lulav yotzim min hadas tefach. The lulav should be taller than the hadas by 1 tefach. Rav Parnach Rav Yechon shir shel lulav tzarich sheyetzim min hadas tefach. The spine of the lulav has to be above a tefach. Tnan lulav sheyesh bo shlosha tvachim k'dei l'ne'eh bo kosher. All lulav that needs to be 3, not 4. Ema k'dei l'ne'eh bo kosher. You have to be able to hold on to it to be able to shake it. That's what he meant by it has to be at least 3. Markedisle. Each one was talking about the same measurement. Just each describes based on where they live. It was described differently. Toshma. Shir hadas v'arava shloisha. Hadas v'arava have to be 3. The lulav arba. My la vade alim. Aren't we talking about including the leaves? Or it says lo lavad me alim. The lulav separate from the leaves. Gufa. Shir hadas v'arava shloisha. The lulav arba. It's talking about a tefach when the amma was 5 tefach, not 6 tefach. So it's a bigger tefach. But that's very machmir. To find a hadas that's 3 tefachim is hard. Boy, if you have to find it bigger than that, it's going to be a bigger problem. So kiyos Rav Dimi Amar Amma Bashisha Tvachim Aseota Bas Chamisha. An Amma that uses up 6 Tvachim, make it so that it only uses 5. Same and Shlosh Ladas Vashar Lulav. So you have 3 Tvachim for that das. The remainder, 2 out of 5 is Shar Lulav. Kama Velut Tlasu Chumshi. 3 3/5. So Kasha Shmuel. So Shmuel previously said all you need is 3, not 3 3/5. Hacham Rav Yonah Shmuel Shir Hadas for Rav Shloisha. V'Hasam Rav Yonah Shmuel Alach Rav Tarfon, which is 3 3/5. Which is loy dok. There's the same. He rounded it up. But I mean loy dok l'chumra. To create a chumra, you can say lo dok l'kulam yarmina loy dok. We're dealing with the Doraisa de Kedin. We're not going to go l'kula. So Kios Rav Amar Amma bas chamisha tfachim, an amma that normally is measured 5 tfachim to an amma, aseos shisha tfachim, so it's smaller. So it's not it is a chumrah. Same in Shoshadas Vashar Lulav, Kam Avilu Treu Palga, 2.5, and you wind up as a chumrah to up to 3. So of Kasha de Shmuel, it's still not exactly what Shmuel learned. Lo dok in a chanami, he rounded up from 2/5 to 3. A high chumrah lo dok, because it's a chumrah to go to a higher shear. Mishnah. Hadas agozul vayovish pasul. Hadas that's stolen or dried is pasul. Hadas from an ashay retrieve dachas pasul. Niktam roishoy, if the top of the hadas is cut off, nifritzu olav. There are no leaves left on it. Oshayu anavim meruvos, all of the berries are more than the leaves, pasul. However, in miaton, if you remove the berries, kosher. However, in mamatin beyond, if you can't do that, nothing. Tanraban anaf eitz avot, that's a hadas. Anaf of choifin eitz, so it's a type of a branch where the leaves cover it, so you don't see the bark. Ezel eviom is hadas. Amazay, so it could be the zayas. Be'inan avos veleka. The leaves have to be like a chain around the branch, and the olive doesn't have that. Ema hirduf. Maybe it's a hirduf, which is oleander. It doesn't smell good, so that would be a lack of noam. Rav Amar Me'acha, emet v'shalom ehavu. It has to cause peace. And hirduf is poisonous, so it doesn't lead to peace. It's like a necklace surrounding, the 3 leaves surrounding has to be all coming from the same spitz. That's the hadas. The fruit and the bark taste the same. And the Omer Zadas. Tana eitz avos kosher. If it's got the leaves around it, it's kosher. V'shein avos pasul. Hechidami avos. Amiru v'dekayim lasat tarfe bekina. 3 leaves have to grow out of the same point. Rav Kana Omer afilu trei v'chad, 2 and 1. We paskin 3. Rav Acha b'nei Rav Amada trei v'chad. Rav Acha would look for 2 and 1. We put Rav Kana because he heard Rav Kana saying, 2 and 1, they call the hadas shoita. So it's not the kind we use. We use that it has to be 3 or more. If the majority of the leaves fell off, even a minority of leaves remain kosher. As long as you have the 3 leaves coming from that one point. It's internally contradictory. Kosher. You start off by saying if the majority of the leaves were gone, it's kosher. Implying that you could have the majority gone as long as they're still in avos. Kivin did not tray. 2 out of the 3, if it falls off, you'll never have an avos. That's what it's talking about, the leaves in one row. That's why it's so hard to find a kosher hadas. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to learn